Welcome to Goforth&Carnivore.
Hey guys, today I got to learn a lesson from my 7-year-old. What do I say every single night when we go to bed, buddy? We're
Big.
What else?
Strong.
What else?
Brave.
And we're brave, brother. And today, my son showed me exactly what those qualities look like. He showed me really what it meant to be brave in moments that he would always be scared otherwise. Here's the story. Tell me, what was your favorite part today?
Everything.
Everything was your favorite part?
The drop.
The drop?
Of the scary slides.
Yeah, that's crazy. Because honestly, just a few months ago, you probably wouldn't have done anything like that. You've really become brave. I'm proud of you, man. It's days like today that just really make me a proud parent and help me realize why I do what I do and the journey that I've been on. Just a couple weeks ago, I kind of had a little bit of a meltdown on the episode of just talking through how I felt like it was just time to give up because of the different struggles that I've been through. And I just kept realizing that I could look at memory after memory of why I'm doing what I'm doing, because I see the changes in weight. I've seen the changes mentally. I've seen the changes emotionally, as well as physically. Obviously that comes with the weight, but just the way that I'm able to get around and move around. And I'm happy to be re-energized in that. And today was a great example of that, getting to watch Tuck just really blossom and have a great time out with his friends. And to see him truly not be afraid to do things that just a few months ago he would have been terrified to do. And it's just been really cool to see him blossom into a young man, to see him do things that I wouldn't even dare to do at his age, because just a year ago we went to Six Flags and he was terrified to ride anything. And today he wasn't on roller coasters, but he was jumping on slides and doing things that were just really kind of out of the norm for him to just jump into and to not be afraid of. And it really helps solidify why I'm doing what I'm doing, not just as for myself, but also as a dad, to show him what it means to step outside of our comfort zone of making sure we're pushing ourselves. And that's what he did today. He showed me what that was like for him, and it just helps remind me of why I keep doing what I'm doing in my carnivore journey, why I keep doing what I'm doing career-wise, to want to do my best to make sure I'm providing what I can for my family. And it just reminds me of just the episode. Yeah, what did you want to tell him? You gotta say it louder.
Also, when I did, the first time when my dad said do the drop, I just did it.
You just did it, and I'm so proud of you.
And I kept doing it over and over again.
Yeah. I don't know if I ever told this story, but just a few weeks ago, I had posted the video of me trying to do carnivore at Six Flags. But that's also a story that helps push me to do things that take me outside of my comfort zone. When I was a child, the last time that I had ever went to Six Flags with my mother before she got too sick with her kidney failure and couldn't go to places like that anymore, we went to Six Flags, and I was so cowardly. And I say cowardly just because I wanted to do things, but I was just too skittish, and I was honestly just being kind of selfish and monopolizing on the time that I got with my mom, because it was a little bit after her being sick, and so I just wanted to selfishly soak up every second I could with her. And so I was too scared to go ride on roller coasters, and so I wouldn't let her go do that. And knowing one of her biggest things was that she wished she could go back and to ride the Batman, to go ride the Mr. Freeze, to go ride the Texas Giant, because that was where she had spent many special occasions with my dad when she was younger and newly married. And it was just really kind of a gut punch and just a reality check once I knew that in the time span of her getting sick, ultimately before her death, of what she wished she could have done, is I pushed all those fears to the side and I learned how to enjoy to ride roller coasters. In fact, I often would tell her before she passed away that when I went to Six Flags, before I got too big to ride all the coasters, is that I would tell her, hey, I'm going to ride this for you. Because I got to see from my mom of what she was incapable of doing. And that wasn't of her own fault. It was the kidney failure that had taken its course. But I knew that I never wanted it to be a reason for me not to go and do something that was fun, because I didn't want to look back on it one day and think that I couldn't do it anymore. I mean, there will be an age that happens. But right at that point in my life, I was able to go do things. I was just too scared. I knew that there was a safety net involved. My mom did it. And that's how we pretty well gauge our safety net when we're children. And I made sure that I was never too scared to do anything. Like, yes, there's some things that I just won't do because I'm stupid and I don't want to die. But when it comes to just stepping outside of my comfort zone, I've always tried my best to do it in honor of my mom, who could no longer do that. I want to make sure that when everything is in my willpower, that I am doing everything I can to do what I want to do. And that is something that helps keep pushing me along in carnivore. I have those examples of my mom of not being able to, and now I have the examples of why I want to. I have my son and my two daughters who need their dad, number one, but also that dad who will do stuff with them and build memories with them. And even if they're too scared to go ride roller coasters, to walk around the amusement park with them, to walk around the slide park and to get on slides with them. I didn't do that tonight because I'm just too cheap. But it was just a great time because he was there for a birthday party, but I was there getting to be inspired by my son, watching him do what he loves, which is hang out with his friends, and to step outside of his comfort zone. Guys, if there's anything that I could ever encourage you with today, it's to step outside of that comfort zone. It's so hard to do that when you're on carnivore because you're always outside of your comfort zone. You're not eating like everyone else. You're not eating at the same time as everyone else most of the time. But for me, I learned that is a point of connection. It helps me not just be like, oh, it's because I'm carnivore. Like, I'm not doing that just to throw that carnivore word out there. But it helps me spread the word of how life has changed for me. It becomes a conversation piece of, hey guys, this has been a dramatic change for me, and it can be a dramatic change for you. Sure, it seems that I'm on an emotional roller coaster because just 2 weeks ago I was considering quitting. But we all go through those slumps. We all have those uphill coasters that is struggling just to get to the top and to finally get to that point of we're going back down. But I get to see the liberation that comes in that. I get to have that example in my son. Sure, it was just simple slides, but if you knew my son, he was a scaredy cat. Were you a scaredy cat back in your day? He's saying no, but he was, but he's not now. Because his sense of time is now. And I love that. I love that he now has the courage to get to do that and to go out and to pursue things. And I get to do that. I get to do that as the example. I get to show him how can live life to my fullest without living life just full of carbs and being miserable. I can enjoy meat. I can go out. I can ride all the roller coasters. I can go on the slides. I'm not worried about a weight limit. I'm not worried about a size limit. And I'm not worried about physical inabilities of being able to be mobile and agile and to go around. I get to do things with my kids that I was never able to do before, and to not be restricted by all these boundaries. Just like getting to finally be able to have the courage to sit on a roller coaster and to do that in honor of my mom, it was an even bigger step to do it and to freely get to sit in a coaster that I wasn't afraid of being too big in, and just to have a good time. Guys, that liberation alone, to just get to enjoy rather than in fear of what that body dysmorphia moment of being too fat and just not being able to do the things you want. Guys, if I can do this, you can do it. We don't have to be stuck in that cycle of doing the same thing over and over again just because it's what we've always done. I mean, that's the definition of insanity, is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different outcome. That's what everyone else expects you to do. But when you step outside of that, you're able to see what you can become. You can look at your 7-year-old kiddo and get inspired to take a risk, to make changes, and to see changes within yourself. And that just becomes a snowball. It's not just doing it 2 times faster, but 10 times faster, because you have that boldness, you have that security, and that self-esteem that you've never had, because you have the world telling you that you're worth nothing. There's nothing that you don't need to do anything to change yourself, but you're miserable all the time. But you need to love yourself that way. Guys, I do. Yeah, bud. Oh, and he had so much fun on the go-karts. I'm going to leave this in because I want them to know. People kept crashing into you? That's pretty cool. Did you have a good time on it?
Yeah.
I love it.
I was the first one to get in the parking lot.
Yeah. But that's the thing, is they want you to stay. They say just love yourself where you're at, but yet when you stay in that same spot that you've been, you're just going to continue to hate yourself. And I'm not telling you to hate yourself for the body that you're in or the struggles you have, but what I'm saying is don't let everyone else define what you need to do. You know that you need to get active. You know you need to make some changes food-wise and timing on things, and not just eating all day long. We need to learn how to live in moderation, even if that doesn't mean carnivore, of what it truly means to live in moderation, not just gorge ourselves. So don't just live in that cycle. Find areas and take chances. It's amazing when you finally start to take chances, you're able to see those small things turn into bigger things, and those bigger things turn into huge things. And you realize that just how well you can go out and tackle the world. Guys, if it's not doing it for yourself, do it for your kids. If it's not for your kids, do it just to prove me wrong, for all I care. I would love to see, okay, Jordan, I've changed these things, but nothing's getting better. I guarantee you would come on here and comment, okay, Jordan, you're right. But this isn't anything new. This isn't rocket science. I'm not teaching anything. I just don't want you to continue to give yourself the excuses that I did for years. It took me being a few years into fatherhood for me to even realize what it meant to really start living for so much more than myself and in the world around me. It was worth living for my wife, for my kids, for my friends, and my family. There's so much life for you to live. And I hope that you start seeing that. I hope you start making a change. And if you've enjoyed this video, hit like and share this with someone who is scared to finally take that leap. Show them what it is for a 7-year-old to take that leap and how they can start taking small leaps. Because you're worth it. When you're on that uphill part of the coaster and it seems like you're never going to get to that pinnacle to start finally making your way down, that you would start to make those small changes and see that one little step at a time.
Daddy.
To where, hang on, buddy, to where you can finally get to a point where you're on that downhill coaster. Life will still have hills that it goes up, but you're able to know what that downhill feels like, to where you can encourage one another. That's what we're here for in this community, is to encourage one another to make changes. And guys, if you want to see more of this Goforth and Carnivore journey, hit that subscribe button to see what's coming next, because we have a lot more life to live and a lot more stakes to go with our real life and real results. And until next time, guys, go forth and carnivore.
Dad, I have
Bye,
some
guys.
questions.
Oh, he has some questions.
There was like a drop on the slides, and then my dad said go down, but then the second time I did it with no hands. My hands were just on the mat, and I didn't even fall off.
He didn't even fall off.
Yeah, I didn't even fall off.
What was your most favorite part?
Every slides.
Every slides.
Yeah, and
Was any of it scary?
Well, the first one was.
Yeah.
What's this?
But what happened after you did the first time?
I did it more times.
You realized it wasn't scary anymore?
Yeah. Where are we going?
Thank you for your lessons today, buddy. I'm proud of you.
You're welcome. Dad, where are we going?
We are going home. Anything else you want to say to him before we leave?
No.
You're good?
Yeah.
Do you want to say, welcome back to Goforth and Carnivore? Nope, say it. Say it. Look at the camera and say it louder.
Welcome to Goforth and Carnivore.
Here,
See you next.
say it. Say, welcome to Goforth and Carnivore.
Welcome to Goforth and Carnivore.